Hi everybody, hello, welcome back to THE Student Webinar. So today we are joined by HSLU and they will be here to discuss all things unlocking impactful travels, business education and your future. Now we are here for the full hour, please do ask us questions, we will be here to answer those throughout the webinar and I am going to answer all of them at the very end for you with Ignacio and our wonderful student here, Mariana. So I'm going to hand you over to Ignacio, your main host.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, good evening to everybody. Buenas tardes. We're going to deliver the session in English, but anyway, cualquier pregunta que tengáis en español or English, it's absolutely fine. Okay, both Mariana and myself, we speak in Spanish, so whatever you want. We're going to do the session in English because the program is in English, so I thought it was going to be better. Anyway, let me start introducing ourselves. Okay, let me start with Mariana, who is joining us today. And Mariana is an HSLU student. So thank you so much, Mariana, for joining us. And Mariana will be sharing with you her experience, okay, when coming to Europe and what she went through. And I'm Ignacio Gaffo. I'm the head of the program here at Spain. I'm very happy to be here with you. This is basically what we're going to go through in the next 30 minutes approximately. So first of all, we thought it was important to start with the big questions we are sure you have about your career, what to study, how to connect everything together, whether to study abroad or not. Then we would like to have a quick word about why tourism and why sustainability. Why is that a good option for you, something that we believe you should be considering. Then quick word about the program we are launching, okay, just to highlight the main things that you may want to know about. And then last but not least, the most important thing to me, which is basically Mariana is going to share her experience, okay, in Europe, in our university. And lastly, of course, we will have some time for questions, either in English or Spanish. Feel free, by the way, anytime to write down the questions in the chat. Okay, we will take them at the very end. So we'd like to start with big questions, okay, and we believe, of course, this is a session about tourism and sustainability, but first of all, we'd like to start with big questions I'm sure all of you have, right? The first question is basically, what does it take to make an impact today and to have a successful professional career? The second big question we would like to start addressing is okay, what's the right time to opt for a specialization or for general studies? Specifically, if you're taking a bachelor, should you go for something specialized? Should you go for something more generic? And the last question we'd like to start tackling at the very beginning is if it is relevant to study abroad and what you can get from it. Actually, if you check out different publications, the World Economic Forum is actually speaking about this. And as you can see in this slide, the World Economic Forum in this case speaks about different skills that are going to make the difference for you in your professional life. And if you want to make an impact in society, right? And he speaks about cognitive skills, self-efficacy, management skills, technology skills, and working with others. We're not going to go through this, okay, because probably it's too dull. But what we're going to do is we're going to present it in a different way that probably is going to make it more understandable. So if you ask us our experience, okay, what does it take, okay, to be successful, to have an impact, okay, to get the most of whatever you're studying and deciding on whether to go for something generic or something specialized, or studying at home or studying abroad, there are 4 different things that I think are extremely relevant for you. This is very good food for thought, okay, whatever you are planning to do. And those are business foundations, the right expertise, leadership, and professional network. Let me start with the first one, which is a business foundation. And the key point here is, first of all, what you need to do, okay, if you want to have a successful professional career, you need to have an understanding about how business works. And this obviously requires that you take some general modules on business, so you have a general understanding about finance, about marketing, about operations, technology, etc. Again, this is something that you usually cover through general core business models. This is going to give you a perspective, a general or overall understanding about how business works. But that's not the end of the story. On top of this, and this is what the World Economic Forum and different experts and authors are suggesting, you have to work on other stuff. So something you should be getting whenever you decide to study at universities, develop, first of all, what's called key cognitive skills. Specifically, there are two things here. The first thing would be everything related to analytical skills, so the ability to think critically, to think thoroughly. And then you have something else, which is creative skills. Or if you like, this has to do with out-of-the-box thinking. And by the way, this is something very relevant today because quite a few jobs, quite a few tasks are going to be automatized by artificial intelligence. So you need to combine the two of them, right? Analytical thinking with a creativity thinking. And that's something you can get in your bachelor study. Is it the end of the story? No. Business Foundations today requires you to understand pretty well what's going on with technology. And again, you don't have to be a geek, you don't have to be an expert on every single technology, but you need to understand basically the big things happening. You know, you have to understand what's artificial intelligence, what's blockchain, what Internet of Things, and things like that. And the last thing is obviously it's something you will develop. You need to develop if you want to be successful. Is something skills related to management, and something which is critical today is everything related to quality management. We are bombarded by data, right? But still, being able to deliver with the right quality seems to be essential. So that's the Business Foundation. That's something you should check out, okay? That you are getting in whatever study you opt for. The second thing, it's which is critical is, okay, what's the right blend? Okay, shall I go for something specialized or not? And in this regard, let me share some thoughts here, right? Something very, very important, which is going to happen to you in your professional career is you want it or not, okay? And probably sooner than later, you're going to end up being specialized in an industry and in a very specific business area, right? Because in the end of the day, you start with a work, you work in an industry, you're assigned to a department, and probably that's going to leave a strong record, okay? So in this regard, my suggestion is make sure that you choose the right industry and the right area. And this is something you can do when you opt for your bachelor, or that's something you can choose when you get your first job. And whatever the case, okay, I have two suggestions here, but two things that I think are going to be relevant. So the first thing is make sure that you go for an industry which is growing in a steady way. And this is important because if the industry is growing, then you're going to have more resources, more opportunities, and definitely your career is going to be more accelerated. So growth is extremely important. That's something you have to look into. And the second thing I would say is when you think about, okay, in which area shall I specialize myself? I would say, please consider two things. And there should be a balance here. The first thing is you have to go for something which is highly demanded by the market. Okay, that's very relevant because if it's not highly demanded, then the market conditions are not going to be good. And as important as the first one is you have to go for something that you resonate with, okay, something that is meaningful for you. So that's something I would strongly suggest to consider whenever you decide to make a decision over going for something specialized, something more generic. Okay, these are some things that you want to consider as well. The third thing, which is going to be very, very critical for your mid-long-term success, it has to do with leadership. And I know everybody speaks about leadership, so let me be a bit more specific here. And basically, I would say two things, or two big areas here. The first thing has to do with self-efficacy, or how do you manage yourself, which, believe me, it can be something hard at sometimes. And how do you work with others? And here you have some examples, about things that are going on and something that could help you understand basically what I mean, right? So the first thing is here you have four core leadership skills you may want to think about, right? The first thing is, for instance, self-awareness. It's very, very important that you know yourself, okay? So whatever you study, okay, at some point should provide you with feedback about who you are and who you're not. Another critical skills are related to communication. So you have to be able to express yourself in a convincing and clear way, verbally and in written. Also very, very important, and that's because the way the work is changing, and you have to be able to influence people, right? So not anymore, we are finding hierarchical organizations. Probably you're going to work in a very flat organization. You have to be able to influence people. And the last thing, which is extremely important, is things are changing so fast that you have to be able to learn in an agile way. Let me put it this way. It doesn't matter what you learn today. Believe me, in 3-5 years time, it's going to be obsolete. So it's extremely important that you have the ability to be curious and to learn. And all this is happening in a scenario which is very interesting because, first of all, what's going to happen when you join the professional world is you're going to be working with people from different generations, right? So most of you are going to be fitting into what's called Generation Z. But, well, you have to deal with people very different from you, and that's people that are millennials, people that belong to Generation X, and I could even go to baby boomers, okay? And even in some cases, you might be working with traditionalists. So this requires a lot of flexibility. And also, it's not only about working with people from different generations, it's also about being able to deliver in a global world. So more and more, you're going to be working with people from all around the world with different cultures, different perspectives. And obviously, this requires that you develop flexibility, empathy, and you're able to deal successfully with all these generations, all these people. And this is also something that probably we don't emphasize enough, but this is also something you should look into, no? When you decide what to study. These are things that are going to be very critical. And the last thing, I also think it's relevant, very relevant, and probably most people are not aware when they take studies, but believe me, mid long term, very, very critical, has to do with the professional network you're going to be able to build up. How do you build up your network? To start with, that has to do with the cohort, right? That has to do with the people you're going to study with. Okay, so you want to make sure you study with talented people. Okay, and obviously this goes beyond the cohort. That also includes the people you have at the university. The second thing which is going to enrich your professional network is the kind of people that are going to be your professors, your lecturers, etc. So that's also something I would suggest keeping an eye on, who's going to be your professors, lecturers, etc. Another thing is, in case you're taking an internship, okay, that's also a great source of professional network because you're going to meet people in a professional environment. You can show up how good you are, and that's going to help. And then also, when you think about professional network, that's something you have to build up in a proactive way. So it's not going to come naturally in quite a few cases. So you also have to take the initiative, and that's how you build your professional network, right? And these are 4 things that we believe are going to make a difference for your professional career, okay, and can help you decide on whether to specialize or not, study abroad or not. Having said that, let me move into tourism, right? Well, what's going on with tourism? I would say quite a few people don't know about the high potential that tourism has. So let me share with you some words, right? Well, first of all, tourism is not hospitality, or it's not only hospitality, right? People associate tourism with hotels, hotel management, hospitality. That's fine, that's part of it. But tourism is actually much broader, right? It includes transportation, it includes destination management, it includes policy making, it includes quite a few things. So it's very, very broad industry that we are speaking about here. And actually, 10% of what's produced in the world, so 10% of world's GDP is coming from tourism. Okay, actually, in some countries like Spain, for instance, it goes up to 15%. It's very, very big industry we're speaking about. Okay, and just to give you more figures, 1 out of 10 jobs are actually created in tourism. Tourism is also a great industry in the sense that it's growing. It has recovered. Okay, we all obviously struggled with COVID, but the industry is fully recovered from COVID now, right? And something which is very unique about tourism is the kind of accelerated career you can have. And it's very, very common not to find people that start in a very low level, okay, and after maybe 10, 15 years, they end up managing different companies, okay? So mobility, progression is also something commendable about the tourism industry as a whole. And actually, if we think about that, okay, we can connect to something else, right, which is sustainability. And probably you're reading about sustainability on the news every single day, right? So what's sustainability? Sustainability, in very simple words, here you have a definition which I like. It's all about meeting the needs of the current generation without compromising the needs of the future generations to come. In other words, we want to enjoy the world, we want to get our things done, our objectives, but obviously we want our kids, our grandkids to be able to enjoy as well. And in the case of tourism, just to give you a word on that, the way we see it, and everybody sees it, is if we don't make tourism sustainable, there's not going to be tourism at all. It's gonna disappear. More specifically, just to give you a word on sustainability, quite a few people speak about ESG. Okay, and this has different dimensions. So sustainability is not only environmental issues. That's probably what comes to your mind when you think about sustainability. It actually has to do also with social and cultural stuff. Okay, in the case of tourism, for instance, it could be not only the impact we have on the environment, it also has to do with the impact we have on the different countries, on the different populations, on the local communities when we deliver the tourism, okay, and how we respect or we destroy different cultures. And the last element of sustainability has to do with governance. That has to do with how we make decisions. You know, what's the code? What do we take into account whenever we make a business decision, right? What's the criteria, if you like, you know? So as you can see, sustainability is something broad. It's not only environment. It goes actually far beyond, and that's what we are trying to speak about. Sustainability today, I would say, well, here you have different profiles you can find when you think about sustainability. Okay, and people that are really concerned or conscious about sustainability are what we call green customers. The green customers today account for approximately 30% of population. Okay, but it's going to be a must-have. Okay, new generations, your generation specifically, is more conscious about the importance of sustainability. So it's expected, the number is expected to grow up to 60% in the coming years. Okay, so it's going to become a mainstream. It's going to be something very, very relevant. It's going to be become, for quite a few corporations, a must-have. I would say, to a large extent, when we speak to companies, yeah, they claim it's a nice to have, but it's going to become a must-have, not only because new generations are more aware, okay, but also because it's also good for the business. So even if you don't believe in sustainability, okay, you don't buy it, okay, from a pure economic or business perspective, this is extremely beneficial for corporates, okay? Why? Because it helps you to build a brand or position the brand properly. It's a very good source of innovation. You can come up with very cool new stuff. It can drive operational efficiency. Just to give you a figure, a Hilton Hotel in 10 years with sustainable initiatives, they've saved $1 billion. Okay, so the impact can be significant. Obviously, it's a source of customer loyalty. You can command premium prices. It helps you to position the brand, attract the right talent, and also it's good for risk management and also for developing new businesses. Okay, so it doesn't matter to me if you believe on this or not. It's going to be a mainstream. It's also good for the business. And the last thing which is relevant about sustainability, and probably you've read about this more and more, it's going to be compulsory from a legal perspective. Okay, so regulations around sustainability are going to become tougher and tougher. Okay, so it doesn't matter your approach to sustainability, whether you believe in that or you want to comply with regulation or you just care about business. Sustainability is going to be a mainstream. Okay, in this context, okay, what we would like to introduce briefly today is our program. And our program is a program that we are launching together from HSLU. We are Lucerne University of Applied Sciences and Arts. We are launching together with UN Tourism a bachelor degree on international sustainable tourism. Well, UN Tourism, probably you know, but that's the agency of the United Nations specialized in promoting tourism. Actually, in their case, it's about making tourism sustainable. And UN Tourism basically decided to bet on us to come up with this degree because they thought, okay, we really need to prepare potential leaders, okay, about tourism and about managing tourism in a sustainable way, right? So it's the first time that UN Tourism actually launches a degree. In this case, we are lucky that they decided to go for us. And what we have done is we have designed a curriculum from scratch. So we are speaking to UN Tourism. We spoke to quite a few corporates. We understood exactly what they wanted. And that's how we came up with this curriculum, which is mainly focused on sustainability. You will have foundation on business. You will have an understanding about how it works, also about an understanding about how tourism works, but we will emphasize a lot on sustainability. The program is going to give you access to the network we have at the university, also the network that you can get from UN Tourism. You will get, in this case, a Swiss degree. And the program is taking place in a very international perspective, not only because the cohort, the students are from different countries, from all around the world, but also the lecturers, the speakers, and everything that we are going to deal with is going to be very, very international. And last but not least, and I think it's also very important, very unique about our universities, is we are pretty much hands-on, okay, university. So everything you're going to see is going to be very practical, okay? So you're going to see some theories, but we will make sure you make the connection all the time with real life. And here you have a visualization about the program, how it's going to be. It's a 3-year program. As you can see in the slide, the first year actually takes place in Madrid. So we're opening a campus here downtown in Madrid. Okay, so that's where you're going to spend your first year. The second year, the first semester of the second year is going to be online, which means you can go wherever you want as long as you have an internet connection. You're welcome to join us. So you can stay in Madrid, and you can go to Switzerland, or you can stay at home or go to another location. That's your choice. And in the fourth semester of the second year, what we do is we provide you with an internship. Okay, we have agreements with companies from all around the world in different industries. So you will check out the different options. You will see what you want, and that's the internship you're going to go for. And lastly, okay, the third year of the program is going to take place in Switzerland. So as I said, it starts in Spain. Second year, you decide where you want to go, and you finalize in Lucerne, right? And what you're going to get, well, you're going to get quite a few things, right? So we try to blend different things. So of course, you need to get the business foundations. That's something you're going to get. But also we will make sure, okay, that there is a practical approach. So whatever you study, you're going to make a connection with the real life. And also we want to emphasize critical leadership skills like communication skills or social behaviors that we believe are extremely relevant for your professional success, right? And here you have the program in a nutshell. What we are doing is we are combining different elements. So as I said, it's a Bachelor of Business. Okay, that's why you have business development. But we're combining this with management, applied science, marketing, communication, and a strong emphasis on the professional world. Here you have some of the companies we are partnering with. And actually we're going ahead with these partnerships on 2 ways, right? The first thing is these companies are supporting us with cases, with internships, and we have institutional collaborations with them. But also we are bringing a lot of professors from the industry, right? So for example, when you come to Madrid, you're going to have different directors or vice presidents from companies like Radisson, like Hilton, like Iberia, like the city of Madrid. So you're going to have people from the industry that are actually investing the time to teach. Okay, and this is actually going to make a very, very big difference, right? Because you're going to learn from the very best. You're going to learn from the experts that are actually making a living with what they teach to you, right? And also something relevant about the program is this is a program we are launching together with UN Tourism, and you will benefit from everything that UN Tourism is doing, and they're doing quite a few things. Okay, to start with, here you have different kind of personalities or influencers. They are ambassadors, as they call them, that they are working with. Okay, don't know if you like soccer or you like the movies, but here you have some examples about them. So this is people you're going to be connected to, and obviously the program is going to open up you to join. Okay, the different initiatives that UN Tourism is launching, right, around innovation, investment, events, products, etc. So quite a few options that are going to be opened up for you. So it's going to be up to you to decide what you want to go for. But lots of opportunities as you can see, right? And just to conclude, okay, this part of the program, the first intake is starting this October. Okay, those students that are admitted, okay, for the first cohort are going to have a scholarship of the Swiss government of 50%. Okay, so the Swiss government basically is providing with a very generous subsidy for this. And as I said, the scholarship is 50% for the people that are admitted and are starting in October this year, right? We are only going to go up to 50 students, so we want to keep it small, okay, and selective. And well, here I'm sharing with you a figure, right, which is the number of jobs that are going to be created in tourism by 2030. So definitely a study, okay, in an industry with a huge potential, as you can see. All right, so that's going to be it from my side. Mariana, te toca a ti.
Muchas gracias, Ignacio. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So the reason why I decided to study abroad, I think it's a question that you might be asking yourself. So I'm gonna tell you why I did it. I really wanted to learn to be more independent and to get like new experiences. and as well for my portfolio. So I knew that if I would study abroad, especially in a European country, and I mean, this bachelor degree has indeed Switzerland and Spain, Madrid. So I knew it was going to be more likely for me to get a job after the studies over here in Europe. So I really valued that. And the benefits I have seen of that, of being an international person during work and also in school, is that traveling really gives you a different perspective of things. So you also bring to the table the things that you learned back in your home country and what you have learned over here in this new culture. And companies highly value that. I also think it enriches us you. And maybe if you can go to the next slide, Ignacio. And let's be honest, it's also, I mean, Switzerland is in the center of Europe, so you can go by train. I think it takes you 4 hours from Lucerne to go to Paris. In 3 hours, you're in Milano. In 2 hours, you're in Germany. So, I mean, it was like a really hot spot for me. So that's also one of the reasons why I chose to be, an international student in Switzerland. Can you move on to the next one, please, Ignacio? So why to study at the HSLU? I decided to split this question into 2 different questions. So the first one is why to study in Switzerland. And if we move on to the next slide, you're gonna see the beautiful landscape. So the pictures over here are like in summer, in spring, which is the season right now. Like these flowers are genuinely like you walk outside your house and the flowers are there. They're just like wildflowers, which is insane to me, especially coming from Mexico. We don't really have that. So I just love it. And if you're gonna be here for 1 year, I feel that you can really get to know the country and you're gonna enjoy like fall with the beautiful orange leaves, which again, it's something we never had in Mexico. You can swim on the lake in summer, and like the greatest thing is that all these hot spots that you see in the pictures are within 1 hour by train from Lucerne, like maximum. Like also in the city of Lucerne, if you walk down 15 minutes, you have the forest right there. You have the lake right in front of the school. Like literally, our lunch breaks are in the lake. So I mean, how insane is that? And yeah, I really think you're gonna enjoy it, especially if you like doing outdoor activities, so snowboarding or hiking or just going for a beer to the lake, it's also okay. So it's really beautiful. Can we go to the next one, please, Ignacio? And yeah, so the second part of the question was why to study in the HSLU specifically. So the nice thing about the HSLU is that there are like diverse groups of international students. So I really felt welcome here because, as an international student, you don't really know if you're ever gonna get to make friends. So it was really nice to see that I wasn't alone here. That there are like group chats where like, students just plan activities like pub crawls, or you're going to the lake, or going to like celebrate the like common Swiss tradition. So that's very nice. And also what I really value of the HSLU is that it's a very dynamic school. So you do not only learn within the classroom and with your lecturers, but they also give you a lot of case study. And it's pretty much what Ignacio was saying before, from these like big companies. They do have contacts, and you can see that they also take us to field trips to other cities within Switzerland to know about tourism there. Next week, I'm gonna go to the Radisson Blu so they can give us a webinar, a workshop on like how hotels really operate. And it's just amazing. We also work with real clients. So also this semester for an event management class, I am planning an event for the Lucerne Tourism Office. So it's really nice to, apply the knowledge that you get from class and to deliver it basically to the clients. And the best part is that if you get to give a good impression, they can for sure hire you afterwards. So that's really nice. I really value that. And yeah, like again, in these pictures, it's just me with my international friends. And I like with that, I would like to get back to you, Ignacio.
All right, thanks a million for for that, Mariana. So let me stop sharing my screen, okay? And now we'll move to questions. Okay, so let me see if I can read the questions. Do we have any question?
If you want, I can read them out loud.
I cannot see them. That's why I ask.
Okay, I will.
Can you see them?
Yeah, you can like below. There is like a Q&A button.
Q&A. Oh, you're right. You're right. All right. Thank you for that. Okay, so let me read the questions, okay, and then we can.
Perfect.
So, hello, what will I gain work experience alongside this degree? Do I need previous work experience to apply? Okay, so yes, let me start with the last question, which is because it's relevant. Okay, so for joining the program, you need to have some work experience. Okay, it doesn't have to be interesting, and actually we can be flexible with this. You need to come up with 1 year of total professional experience. Again, we are flexible. It doesn't have to be in one place, so you can gain that experience in different places, and it doesn't have to be necessarily in tourism. Okay, so if you have any experience, okay, just check it out with us, and yeah, that we require a minimum of 1 year. Okay, but as I said, we can be flexible with this, and we can consider different experiences and put them together. And yes, you will have definitely work experience during the program, because as we mentioned before, semester.
Ignacio, we lost you. We cannot hear you anymore. But if you let me to take over on that question, I would just like recommend the students to, in case that you do not have work experience for 1 year, I would really recommend you to just reach out to the university, because for me it was the case that I didn't have like explicitly 1 year experience within one job, so they were also very flexible to me. The second question, ¿cómo empezar a aplicar? I cannot tell you that, so I'm gonna wait for
Can you
you.
hear me now?
Oh yeah, we can hear you. Great.
Sorry about that.
Oh, good.
So I was saying, I don't know when I got lost, but anyway, you need to have 1 year of professional experience, okay, for joining the program. However, we are somehow flexible with this, in the sense that it doesn't have to be necessarily in tourism, and actually it can be in different places. Okay, so as long as you can provide with this year of experience, that's gonna be fine. And in case of doubt, send us an email, and we will check it out for you. And as per the question about experience, yes, you're gonna have an internship. We will provide you with different options, so definitely you will get that experience, that working experience, right? Okay, another question is, ¿cómo empezaría a aplicar? So let me respond in Spanish, okay? Just to change a bit. Podéis aplicar ya. De hecho, entráis en la página web de la universidad, simplemente ponéis yo ahora os lo pongo. Entráis en la página web de la universidad y ahí tenéis básicamente cómo aplicar, lo hacéis directamente online. Y es bastante sencillo, en realidad. Solamente tenéis que presentar el certificado de estudios del colegio, algún tipo de evidencia de la experiencia profesional, y un certificado de inglés, que ya respondo a la siguiente pregunta, que es nivel C1. ¿Vale? Si habéis estudiado en inglés, de todas maneras, este certificado no es necesario que lo entreguéis, ¿vale? Eso es básicamente lo que necesitamos. So let me take the next question, because it's in English, from Carmen. How does my English proficiency need to be? You need to provide us with a C1 level certificate of English. Okay, that's what we need. You can apply even if you don't have it. Okay, so in that case, we will proceed with the admission. And in case you're admitted, what you will get is the conditioned admission, which means you're admitted, but you need to provide with the certificate before the start of the program, right? Okay, another question, maybe Mariana, you can help me with this. ¿Se volverá popular la inteligencia artificial en la industria del turismo?
Sí, es algo que he visto en la escuela, porque creo que no lo dije, pero yo estoy estudiando negocios internacionales con la especialidad en turismo. Entonces sí tengo cursos de turismo y justo nos han hablado mucho de AI, de cómo, por ejemplo, los managers están empezando a planear, o sea, en vez de ellos invertir su tiempo en planear los horarios para los trabajadores, pues la inteligencia artificial pues se los resuelve, o sea, como muchas cositas así. Igual hay restaurantes en Suiza en los que ya no hay, o sea, un servicio, o sea, restaurantes literal con mesas, que ya no hay un mesero que te lleva la comida, sino son pues, o sea, machine learning, como máquinas programadas que te llevan la comida. Entonces está muy moderno.
Okay, let me add something else. Thank you for that, Mariana. I think that basically everything that can be automatized is going to be automatized. Okay, let me put that way. And in the case of tourism, I would say quite a few things are going to be automatized. That's for sure. However, there is still big need, for people with critical thinking, or the ability to think creatively, or making sense of whatever you're going to automatize, or whatever you're going to get from things like generative artificial intelligence. So yes, definitely yes, it's going to be a mainstream. However, there is also a very big opportunity for people that understand how to manage that, how to get the most out of artificial intelligence. But I would say it's happening in tourism, it's happening in every single industry you can think about, right? By the way, I just put on the chat, okay, the link, okay, for the application. So in case you want to apply, that's where you have to go. You go there, you click, and you can do everything online, no? If you want to check out all the programs, that's another question we have at HSLU. You just go to our website, go to HSLU, let me write it down on the chat. Okay, and then you can check out everything we have, right? Another question we have is about the scholarships, and yes, as we mentioned, every single student who is going to be admitted in the program is going to get a scholarship of, it's actually more than 50%, okay, provided by the Swiss government. Okay, so the fees you will find out when you apply are actually relatively low, I would say, for a Swiss university. Okay, it's usually more than double than what you would be paying. So in case you're admitted, automatically you get that sponsorship. Admission requirements, I think we mentioned as well, but let me go through them as well. You need a high school degree. That's what you need. You need what to provide us with a motivation letter, a certificate of English level, C1 English level, and some evidence of work experience. Okay, and we need 1 year in total. And as I said, we are flexible and we can take things you've done in different places, right? Marina, maybe you can help me with the next one. That HSLU have any international student groups to join?
Yeah, they do. It's called ESN, and I think it's not specifically from the HSLU, but it's like from the state of Lucerne. It's like Erasmus. I don't know if you know what Erasmus is, but pretty much like every European city has their own international student group. And they're always like newcomers because there are always new international students joining every semester. So it's really cool. And they also plan really nice activities. So to go either on a weekend trip or a day trip, or go to a bar, or just like, yeah, a lot of activities. There's also an introduction week, so you get to know like the other newcomers. So it's really nice.
Yeah. Also, I would add something, which is Swiss people are very used to foreigners. Okay,
Yes.
so probably you don't even need to join an international group, because naturally you're going to be a part of the community. Okay, and I think that's probably a big difference over other countries. No, these people are really used to integrate foreign people. You will not feel like a foreigner, probably. No. Another question we have is, what is the age limit to apply for this bachelor's degree? Actually, we don't have an age limit. Okay, but most people are going to be in the range of 19, 21 years old. Okay, so as long as you're okay with that, we don't have a problem with that. So we don't have any age limit. Okay, but you want to be aware about the profile of the people you're going to find out. No. Another question we have is, what kind of scholarship does international student qualify for? I already mentioned, which is by default, everybody who is admitted is gonna get 50% scholarship provided by the Swiss government. Okay, so that applies to Swiss people, also applies to international people, right? Another question we have is, ¿existen algunas limitaciones para aplicar a este grado? No, yo diría que no. O sea, los requisitos son requisitos más que limitaciones, ¿no? O sea, podéis aplicar desde cualquier país del mundo. De hecho, con el visado os ayudaremos. Ahí no hay ningún tipo de problema. Simplemente necesitamos el certificado del colegio, la experiencia profesional y un poco lo que hemos comentado, ¿no? Could you please confirm whether you accept Duolingo as a means to assess English proficiency? Unfortunately, not. Okay, so we cannot accept Duolingo. Okay, so we would need IELTS or how they call, or any other official degree, but Duolingo is not valid, I'm afraid. Okay. Does the application require an application fee? Yes, there is an application fee of 200 Swiss francs. Okay, if you want to apply. Okay. And then another question we have is, ¿los certificados de trabajo tienen que ser traducidos por un perito traductor certificado? no porque el director es español, entonces no, no vas a tener ningún problema porque lo traduzco yo. Así que no, en tu caso entiendo que Dulce lo estás hablando en español, no necesitas ningún tipo de traducción, eh, ningún problema, no hay ningún problema. La documentación nos la puedes dar en español, ¿vale? Así que en ese sentido, pues perfecto, no hay ningún problema.
Mm.
All right. I don't know if there is any other questions. Thank you for those questions. I think they were very good questions. Any other questions from anyone? Feel free to unmute yourself or write down the question on the chat. We'll be happy to take on the questions. Let me write down anyway my email, okay, on the chat. So if anyone has any question, okay, feel free to drop me an email. Okay, and then we can speak English or Spanish, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Okay, we can arrange a call or we can speak over WhatsApp, whatever you like. Okay, that's my email. So feel free to reach me out at any moment. Okay. I think we covered all the questions. Any
Yeah,
other
I think that
any
there
other
might be just
questions?
one more, maybe one more in the Q&A, but it's in Spanish, so I don't know if
¿Hay algún
Mariana?
límite de edad? I think we covered, right? I'm not
Yeah,
sure if
we covered it. It's work certificates if they have to be translated to English.
Ya. No, hay otra pregunta que es, ¿hay algún límite de edad para el programa? No, no hay límite de edad, lo que he comentado antes. Lo único que la mayoría de la gente va a tener entre 19 y 21 años más o menos, ¿no? Entonces, si tienes más edad y estás ok, por nosotros no hay ningún problema, pero bueno, que sepas un poco el perfil de gente que vas a encontrarte, ¿no?
Amazing. Oh, well, thank you guys so much for your presentation today. It was really, really informative. Loads of questions came in, which is brilliant. And we will be in touch with you shortly. To those who registered and to those who couldn't attend today, we'll be sending this to you in a email very shortly. All right. Is there any last words from you guys or anything, encouragement to apply?
Hold on, a question just popped up.
Yeah, sure.
Is it possible to waive the application?
No, I'm afraid it's not. I'm afraid it's not. If it is a big issue, drop me an email, okay, and we can discuss. Okay, but in principle, no, but drop me an email. If that's a big issue for you financially, drop me an email. We can speak about that. Okay, that's something we can check.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, and thank you for attending and also for your questions. And we'll be in touch very, very soon. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody. Have
Thank
a good
you so
evening.
much. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Muchas gracias a todos. Y muchas gracias, Mariana.